You are listening to the Ash and Manoftomorrow podcast. Tonight's topics: the new Dredd film and Storm Sink's comic book and how it fails.
Yeah, the Expo, Orlando Expo, and random topics, whatever comes
To mind.
to mind.
So let's begin, shall we? So, anyways, I guess we could start with Dredd.
Yeah, sounds good.
So, what'd you think of it?
It was a pretty interesting film. It exceeded my expectations. I mean, I didn't really expect it to be such a violent film, though it shouldn't be a surprise since Lionsgate was behind the film. They do a lot of graphical horror films, so it really shouldn't have been a surprise that they would have gone that route and had it be bloody. I mean, I'm glad they did because, it redeemed itself after what we got with Stallone. I mean, Stallone's a good actor, but wasn't the first Dredd film a PG-13 film?
Hold on, I can check that right now. I can go Yahoo and check that one out. Let's take a look. Judge Dredd. Let's IMBD this. UDG Judge. Here's Judge Dredd. No, it surprisingly enough had R rating too.
Wow. It was R-rated and it wasn't even a violent film. It looked tame, so to speak.
The movie Judge Dredd, well, the original Judge Dredd I hated that film. This one I was surprised. It was actually better than I thought it would be. I'm really surprised. But what else did you like about it?
Well, the whole assessment test, but of Dredd, basically, training Anderson and saying, okay, give this judgment. What is going on with this situation? How would you, declare in judgment? All these other points. It was basically like a training day of the field test. And I liked how both the characters, they worked good together, but at the same time they had different viewpoints. I mean, Anderson came off a bit more passive, wanting to think clearly through a situation like when they re-entered the Peachtree building. Anderson wanted to, fall back, wait for backup to come and strike when the odds were in their favor. Dredd was more like, no, let's just blow right through them and go straight for Mama.
Yeah, to be honest, when I first saw this, when I first started watching the film, I was thinking to myself, "There's a lot of chances they could fuck this up. A lot of things they could fuck up in this film," and I was kind of nervous about that. I was like, "Okay, shit."
Like, what concerns did you have? I mean, thinking like, oh man, I hope they don't go in this direction or do this.
Well, one of the things I was glad they didn't do is make it a bad buddy cop story. Like they could have put what's that actor's name who was in the first one?
Rob Schneider?
Yeah, Rob Schneider. They could have just thrown him in as being, just like in the first one, and made him this goofy, laughball, corny cornball partner who goes around just making one-liners, and it's just like, it just does not work.
Yeah. I didn't even view Snyder as a the buddy type. I thought, well, he's just throwing in there for comic relief, to balance out Stallone's seriousness.
Yeah, I was just like going, oh god, please do not fuck him up. There was that, and then there was the female interest, which I was thinking there's two ways they could have fucked that up. They could have first made it a love story, which would have been like with him and Dredd, which would have pissed me off because like that would not have worked. One film with this magnitude, you can't really with like the way it is, you can't do a love story. And if they had done one, I would have been fucking pissed. I'm fucking pissed if they had done a love story. So I was glad there was no love story in there.
Yeah.
And I was kind of and when I saw the like I also thought they might make Dredge Dredd more sensitive to people and stuff. Like, oh, we have to start caring for other people as well. We can't just blah 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 do this and that and that. So we have to we have to care. We can't kill all that shit. So I was like freaking out, going, "Oh no, do not go into that whole bullshit of now he's gonna become sympathetic and stuff to people and all that crap." That was one of my fears as well.
Oh yeah.
I also had a fear about you know how they had the slow mo effect in the movie.
Oh yeah.
I was afraid they were gonna overuse that.
I felt it had its good moments, like producing the realism of like when Dredd set off, I guess, some sort of bomb device that blew the doors away when they did the first bust in the Peachtree building. You know, the effect against the target on the inside of the building, not building, in the room where he was the vigilante or drug dealer, whoever he was. He had his gun pointed straight at the door, ready for both of the judges to come busting through the door, and instead the door came flying right at him. That was a good effect shot of the dead. Was it a keyhole or a deadbolt? Yeah,
I
probably.
don't remember, but it was all around. It was
Yeah.
the slow mo effect. I thought they might overuse it. They didn't. Also, the girl having psychic powers, they actually used that to full effect instead of just being a one little gimmicky thing. It was actually used to its full effect.
Yeah, I actually looked it up on the internet as soon as I got home from seeing it in theaters, and I was surprised they actually went with a character that had psychic abilities. This isn't your Paul Anderson crap where they just make stuff up. They actually went by the character. She is surprisingly very popular. I think she is the second highest favorite next to Dredd. She even had her own spinoff at one point. And what did you think of the homeless man outside of the Peachtree building? Those little scenes with him.
That I thought was funny. I thought that was clever. The whole movie was just it was smartly written. It wasn't a movie that was rushed. You could tell that everything was written nicely in this film.
Speaking of written, did you catch what the sign said? I mean, I didn't pick up what the whole dialogue on the board said or cardboard sign said. All I saw was "will debate." And I assume it said for drugs. I mean, he, right before Dredd and Anderson walking into Peachtree, Dredd spots the homeless man who's obviously a druggie. He turns to Anderson and says, give your assessment, or like, give your judgment. And she takes one look at him, figures out what the charges would be, and instead of taking him in, he goes, you better not be out here when we walk out. You better not be here. And he shakes his head yes, like he understands. Then when they both start to head out, they they spot him, and you could tell that Dredd was just irritated. You know what? I told you what would happen. Get your ass up. You're going to ISO. And before he could even pick him up, the doors came down and crushed him. Like I couldn't help but think to myself, well, he should have listened to Dredd. But on the bright side, you don't have to go to jail.
I just thought it was funny as hell. I just thought that was clever. The whole movie it was much better done than the original. The original was all about, oh, he has a brother and all that bull. You know, I've got a brother. You know, he had a clone brother and shit. And it was just Rob Schneider was in there just to crack jokes. He was really pointless.
Yeah.
So
Looks like how he is these days. I mean, the only way Snyder ever gets work these days, I think, is by through Sandler.
pretty
I could
much.
be wrong.
Well, Rob Schneider he's just fucking annoying. I can't stand that actor.
He's pretty much like Adam Sandler. He's a one-trick pony. He does the same thing almost every time, only different character.
Yeah, and you know who Adam Sandler reminds me of a little bit?
Who?
Robin Williams.
I think that's giving Sandler a little bit too much credit. When it comes to Robin Williams, Robin can do pretty much any character he wants. I mean, like from Miss Doubtfire, that whole, talents. I do voices. You do voices, and then you get this long monologue of him doing different impersonations. That's Robin for you. Adam, the only thing he can play is a pissed off character. So it's just to me, it's giving Sandler way too much credit. I mean, my only nitpick for the film, and it's a small one, it involves that henchman, whatever his name is, the black guy. After he captures Anderson, and he takes her up to where Mama is. He doesn't die. He doesn't die right away. I thought to myself, she chews him out, blames him, and I'm thinking, why not just kill him?
Well, there was actually it was said in the movie because she needs men. She was low on men at that time.
Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, if she killed him, then he wouldn't be able to testify. I mean, even earlier in the film, when she was saying, that there are two judges in the building, I want them dead. She should have said, and while you're at it, kill the so and so, because couldn't she? I mean, she was going to expand, assuming that she lived. She would have expanded it into other regions, gain control of those sections, and gain more people. So even then, she would have been pretty. She wouldn't be low on men for very long.
Probably, but I don't. It's like it's not. It was interesting. I mean, I don't know. It's with that I wasn't complaining too much about. But to be honest, I thought the black guy he start cracking jokes on it. I thought when after they caught him, he started cracking really pointless jokes.
Oh, him? Yeah.
I thought like, oh god, he's gonna become now a stereotypical black guy who just starts cracking jokes for no reason, because the movie needs him to.
To me, I felt they overplayed the perversion. Where when it came to the mind games, I mean, basically he only thinks of Anderson as a sex toy, like his own personal sex slave, and he can't see God. He would just be thinking of ways to screw her and mess with her mind and have her think certain ways. And I'm thinking like, I thought to myself, please, give him a elaborate death, that he deserves. Because I mean, the things he